Hello, super loved one. Welcome back into a world of love and light. I hope you're doing okay. And I am here to record another healing session for you. And I really felt called to do that because there's so much going on these days that I just, I had to, sit at this desk and start recording. So what I would like to do is take a look at the 7 chakras and see what messages we get for each one of them that we can focus on to heal. And I'm recording this the end of June 2020. A lot is going on energetically, astrologically. So a lot of people are feeling a bit confused, a bit not themselves, a bit lost, a bit confined, frustrated. Or complacent, some people, with this whole situation that we're in. And that's okay. It doesn't matter as long as you're okay with it. And for the people who are struggling, that's why we are here, readers, healers, to help you with understanding that you can do something about the way you feel by working with your energy, taking time to sit down, to meditate. Another message something that I'm hearing straight away is try to spend time every day without any screens around you. So no phones, no tablets, no televisions, no laptops. Try and spend quiet time. And if you can, go outside. And if not, stay indoors. But try to read a book or read a magazine. I know some people are already doing that, and for other people it's like, what? I like watching Netflix. And I know you do, and I also enjoy, watching a movie or watching a series, but it's very easy to have your energy sort of become dull and numb and feel low because you are constantly looking at a screen. And basically watching television is not helping your brain being creative, but the other part of it is that every piece of electrical equipment has its own electromagnetic field. And the more you are surrounded by those electric fields, and some of them, like your smartphone, probably is very, very powerful, so it impacts your own energy field. And you can really feel out of balance, out of sorts, out of wits, ungrounded, unstable, just by having your phone in your hand or in your pocket a lot of the time. So a piece of advice, try and put your phone away. I'm actually in a new phase where I'm, putting the phone aside for most of the day. And that's new because usually when you receive a message, you take your phone and you answer or you read it and then, you do something with it. You use your phone a lot to look up information, to read the news, to, watch stuff on YouTube. And that's okay, but it could be really helpful if you limit the amount of time you are actually using that piece of electronics and just put it away, stay out of its electromagnetic field and see if you feel better. Because trust me, I've been doing this a couple of days now and I am already feeling a huge difference, because every time you get hooked into the internet, you are also being hooked in lower vibrational energy. A lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it. And there's nothing wrong with using your television, watching TV or Netflix is fine, but do it consciously and limit the amount of time you're doing it. Because watching a screen for 10 hours a day, if you work at home with a laptop and then watch television for 3 to 4 hours, is not helping you feel good. It's making you feel worse. So instead, try to take a walk, try to go outside and read a book or a magazine. It's okay. It doesn't matter, but try to give your brain something else to do than just watching a screen. You can color. I have a coloring book and pencils. You can maybe go knit or, crockery, maybe something you're into. It doesn't matter, but give yourself something else to do. All right. That was the first message that came to mind. And then for this healing session, let's focus on that because we're getting here the golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. And the first thing that comes to mind is that this card is showing a huge portal. And there's children, golden children, walking towards that portal. And it's a very strong signal that we are moving into a new era. And the new era is actually, if you're familiar with the more like alternative scene, the term 3D world versus the 5D world will sound familiar to you. But that's what's happening. We are moving away from separation consciousness and back into unity consciousness, which is basically the 5D world. So golden children, it talks about recognizing your own gifts or gifts of children that you may have. Innocence is an important part of this because if we try and let go of all the labels that we put on things and how we categorize things, if we let that go, we can return to our innocence and see the world with fresh eyes. And I'm feeling for healing that's really important because you will also let go of your suppressed guilt, your suppressed anger, your suppressed sadness, and really just be like a child and look at the world and wonder, like, wow, okay, this is a new fresh start. This is beautiful. This is a whole new dimension. Rare gifts, it also says. So for some of you, this may be a very strong message that you are here, we're all here for a reason. You might be here for a very specific reason that you haven't fully accepted yet, or have not taken the time to focus on it. And that's really important for you to start doing that, because your energy will make a huge difference in the grand scheme of things and how the world as a total is balanced. You know, the more we focus on the light, the more balance and lightness we will bring, and the easier the transition will also go. So tend to your inner child also. Make sure you give yourself time to feel, maybe to grieve, and because the moon in this card is getting it's really big and it's very orange. So it reminds me of the sacral chakra and very strong emotional connection. Your inner child may want to show you that you have really strong emotions that you haven't dealt with yet. Open invitation, take it as it resonates, because it will not resonate for everybody, but for many of you, especially if you are aiming to work as a healer or a holistic healthcare professional of any kind, consciousness or awareness coaches, writers, speakers, it's very important that you give space to your inner child to deal with any pain that might be there. And we also get the Star Brothers for this healing session. Wow, I'm getting this really strong feeling that if we sit down in meditation, it's very important that we balance ourselves. And that's what this card is showing. It's saying Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. So it's also, as soon as you sit down and you connect to your own energy, your own being, you will feel more at peace. And that's very important because that's what you want to radiate to the world. So giving space to the things that live inside you, and then realize that you can let them go because you are not your emotions or your feelings. It will bring this whole new balance in the scale, and that's what's important. Yeah, this needs a third card. I was not quite sure, but there's another message here. What is here for us? Star Keeper, cosmic ancestors, seed the light by staying grounded. Yeah, that's an additional message coming with the Star Brothers. We go way back as humankind, as mankind, as human species. And it may be true that as far as 300,000 years ago, we were already inhabiting the planet. And there are some stories, legends that we find around the world that are including elements of extraterrestrial energies on this planet. So basically, they are saying that there are other influences that are part of our history as human beings. So looking at that from the positive side, you can ask for help and guidance to your cosmic ancestors because they are here to help you. There is also another side to this idea, which is that the drive of those beings to be here on Earth had to do with control. So controlling mankind, controlling the direction we go in as a species. That's not necessarily positive. The good thing about that is that the drive to control does not originate from the same source as we do. It's like a fear thing. So fear can extend and fear can reshape certain things, but it does not create on its own. Whereas we are beings of light originating from source. We have a human experience, but we are not a body. We are spirit. We are love. We are light. We are that ultimate frequency. And that's the energy, that highest frequency of energy that can create. So we can create. We have the creative spark within us, and we can use that to extend more light. So if you feel oppressed or depressed, and maybe there is a clear reason and maybe there's not such a clear reason, you can still know and use your ability to connect to the creative spark. That's the most important thing. And connect to the ancestors who were also about creating from that spark. And that's very healing because you don't have to do it alone. As soon as you're able to connect to the past of everything, you will see that the whole world as an evolutionary place and time being is one and the same thing. It's coming from one and the same thing. And it's ultimately it's light. And fear has become part of that, but fear is not what created the ultimate spark. And that ultimate spark could never create fear. Fear is just being misguided by something. And that takes many forms. It can take anger, it can take the form of sadness, frustration, small irritation, just being a little annoyed. As A Course in Miracles says, it doesn't matter what shape or form it takes. Ultimately, it's all coming down to fear. There's only two emotions, love and fear, and only love is real. So basically, that's what I'm saying with many words. Love is the ultimate source. It's the creative spark. That's what you are. That's what you are made of. And that's what you can use. Fear is not made of the same thing and it cannot create in the same way. So you are, by definition, always stronger than your fears, whatever it is you are afraid of. And that's a very beautiful memory. Having said all of this, I'm going to take these oracle cards and I'm going to, well, hold on, because I wasn't focused yet. Chakra, the crown chakra, we're getting opportunity beckons in challenging times. Well, they might come back, but what I want to do is pull 7 cards, one for each chakra, and see what we can heal and work on. So starting with our root chakra, what is it that we can heal with the root chakra? Root, sacral, solar plexus, heart chakra, throat, third eye, crown. All right. The root chakra says strengthening bonds. Well, that's a really good way of beginning this healing session, or actually beginning the healing. In this card, it's showing a woman and she's walking down a lane towards the light. There's beautiful trees blossoming around her. We will show the card right next to me in this video. Trust in the road you are walking is what I'm getting here, because this is your basic safety. And you may find yourself walking a new road in a new beginning. And that's scary sometimes, that may cause fear, but you are meant to walk that road and take that turn and live that change. You are meant to do that. So there's no reason to be afraid. And any feeling of fear that you are not going in the right direction, you can heal and pay attention to, because you are walking in the direction of the light. The sacral chakra is getting the Seek card. So what I'm getting is that we are knowing a lot, but we are not stopping enough to spend time with what we know on our inner world. And this card is someone, sitting in nature, opening her arms like this, opening up to the wisdom and the energy of nature, and connecting to her higher wisdom. And there's 2 purple or blue birds flying there. So your relationships, they are going in the right direction, especially if you are concerned about a specific relationship. This card is telling me right now that the fear that you may have stored about this in your sacral chakra, you can heal, knowing that it's going in the right direction and the birds are aligned to each other. And it may be that you are not recognizing the situation you're in just yet because it's new territory, but I feel very strongly that if you feel restless and overwhelmed and worried about your relationship, that you can really let that go, because it's going in the right direction. And all you need to do is sit down, take a moment, feel the first chakra, feel the second chakra, and just let go whatever energy does not belong there. You can trust. There's really a strong inner connection I'm getting. The solar plexus, the third chakra, is getting the world. In this deck, it's called the embrace, and that's very, very powerful. So we have not yet fully embraced our personal power. Basically, said in other words, we have no freaking idea how powerful we really are. And we are so powerful. We are expansive. We are vast. We are unlimited. We are timeless. We are eternal. And we have no idea because we think we are a body. So healing has to do with knowing that you have concluded a certain phase in your life, and you have gathered all the information that you could gather. You have learned all that you could learn from that situation. So the cycle is closed, and you are a new and improved version of you because you have learned and you have integrated this. And the lesson is about the personal power. So you can see and feel now and trust now that you are stronger than you could possibly imagine, and embrace that. So instead of feeling small and succumbing to a victim mentality, which I can understand because it's tempting to feel like a victim, but you are never a victim, never, no matter what happens. And as soon as you remember to go inward, you will find that power center, which is right here, and you will find the endless ability to connect and to how do I translate that? Sometimes it's difficult to translate. Like all the limits and boundaries you've placed upon yourself, you will feel like they're disappearing, and this area of your midriff area will feel larger also, because you are coming into your own personal power. The heart chakra is feeling alone. That's definitely requesting some attention. Yeah. So I'm getting for some of us that it's also very important to heal and restore the energy flow between the solar plexus and the heart chakra, because it seems for some of us there is a disconnect right there. And that's okay. It can be fixed, but it just needs a little bit of attention. Because the heart chakra is looking at this vast landscape, and it's not knowing where it is, but it's also because it doesn't see the light that it's carrying. In this specific card, the woman is holding a lantern, but she's holding it like to her back, so it's not lighting the path in front of her. So she can very easily light the path in front of her, and it's a moonlit night in this card, so she has a lot of visibility because of the light of the moon. And it's also about trusting what you can see, because in the moon, also the moon in the tarot is about illusions and fears and subconsciousness and not being aware of a lot of things. And this is not the moon card, by the way, in this deck, but it doesn't matter. It's just the intuition that I'm having about this right now. It says, trust the path you are walking, because you can see this and you might feel alone, but as soon as you restore the connection between the solar plexus, the third chakra, and the fourth, you will be feeling a lot better. The throat chakra is getting the lead card, which is the Emperor in the normal tarot deck. So we are taking the lead, and it's like stepping from a black and white version of ourselves into a full color version of ourselves, where we are speaking our truth because we know it. So the fifth chakra needs a bit of help speaking its truth, and it's very forceful. It's a very strong message. So what's funny is the third chakra is getting, the solar plexus is getting the World card, and we get the Emperor for the fifth. So these are major arcana cards, very strong energy, and is a very strong connection, because when you embrace the third chakra, your personal power, the leading part of it will be a lot easier. So clearly some of us also need to connect the third chakra with the fifth and allow the flow to be open and balanced. Well, speaking of balance, the third eye chakra is getting fine balance, the number 2 card. So that's telling me that we have not fully accepted, and that's the same thing I was actually saying about the solar plexus, that we are knowing, we have knowledge, we have creation abilities, we are creative beings. The third eye chakra is constantly being pulled towards 2 different worlds. So am I looking at the normal physical outside world, or am I trusting inner vision? There's a struggle between those 2 going on. And it's going to be helpful if you meditate on this feeling, so you can clear it, because it needs a bit of clarification. And then we get the crown chakra is actually getting the heart chakra. Yeah, so that's where our feeling alone is very strongly coming from. It's coming from the sense that we are being disconnected, or we feel disconnected from our higher self, our greater being or the cosmos or God or source, whatever term works for you. That's where the disconnect is really coming from. So basically, if I look at this healing session, start the journey by focusing on the root chakra, which says strengthening bonds. You're on a new path, and it's a very powerful path. You're walking towards the light, but it's taking trust. It requires trust for you to really walk this road and know where you're going. To the sacral chakra, which is about becoming quiet and feeling your feelings. And it's also, she's holding her hands like a bit lower and she's sitting down. And in this case, that's telling me that it's more about like the lower human emotions, like physical love, physical trust, physical relationships, things you can see, hear, feel, and touch. Whereas the third chakra is the man who is standing up and he has his arms like this. So it's more about your connection to the universe, your higher power, your higher source. And in your solar plexus is where you really begin to feel the power that you have. Your heart is saying, I'm feeling alone, I'm feeling disconnected. The throat chakra is saying, I feel somewhere that I have the power to say things and take the lead and make sure I communicate my message the way it's resembling my truth. But I find that scary because the foundation, the new road, is not so, I don't really trust that yet. So that's also what's causing the fine balance. It's a new road, it's turning, but the third eye chakra is not really sure it's seeing it yet. And it's normal because, as I said before, I'm not an astrologer, but in the universe there is happening so much right now that's impacting our energy fields. It's clouding our judgments. It's making us feel more emotional, more easily angered or upset, less stable. So the third eye needs clearing, because as soon as the third eye is cleared, the road's going to become clear. And it's no coincidence that we are getting these cards from the same minor arcana. And I have to think because these are the wands, I'm guessing. I'm not really sure. Let me check that for a second. Are we? Because I wouldn't want to lie to you about that. That's spirit. That's the mental emotions. It's the Pentacles. Yeah, I'm really enjoying these cards, by the way. I just got them, so they're very new for me. So it's the Pentacles. It's also the earthly stuff. So it's how we translate what we see in our minds into our daily lives as we are living them. So it's very important for your third eye chakra to find this balance, and in your crown chakra to open it up consciously to let the higher love in that will connect your heart. And ultimately, obviously, all of your 7 main chakras are connected. So it will be a fantastic activity if you, instead of watching Netflix all night, take half an hour or 2 hours to sit in silence, meditate, visualize, whatever works for you, and get some light from source, entering your crown chakra and rinsing you clean all the way down to your root chakra. And that's where you also have your grounding cord, which is connected to the center of the planet. So you can clean using the universal light, source light, to clean all of it, including the grounding cord that will connect you to the center of the planet. So let's see, what else can I help you with? Because this is already a very powerful healing journey. Yeah, I'm just going to close off with some general guidance for this journey. What general guidance would you have for this healing journey? What can assist us? What guidance do you have for healing the 7 main chakras? This one. Well, duh. Emotions are running high. The supermoon. We're getting the supermoon. Clearly. So, yes, emotions are running high, and that's the very reason I felt like I wanted to do this healing session. There's nothing wrong with emotions running high, and there's nothing wrong with feeling them and expressing them. But if you allow your emotions to become the program that runs you, like they become the standard because you think about these things all the time, therefore evoking the same emotions over and over, they lose their purpose. So emotions are just, as Abraham Hicks often says, they are indicators of where you are focused, where you are going, what your direction is. And in that light, they serve a great purpose, namely they tell you what it is you are creating and manifesting. So emotions are running high. Pay some attention to your emotions because they want to be felt. It's better for your body if you express your feelings because it will make you feel better. But know there is a difference between staying stuck in them and being on repeat as far as emotions are concerned. And you will know you're doing that if the same experience that caused you pain or grief or anger will keep popping up in your mind, and you keep finding ways to talk about it, you keep thinking about it. Those patterns are what's causing your emotion. So that's where to begin to reprogram your mind if you find that your emotions are getting the best of you. The second card we're getting, Show the World the Real You, is a full moon in Aquarius. That's also, Aquarius is a sign that can be a bit fuzzy, a bit all over the place, a bit unfocused. And if you take time to bring yourself together, align yourself with yourself, basically, then you will be able to clearly communicate. Show the World the Real You has everything to do with following your path, your specific new direction, and then taking the lead of your communication, embracing your personal power. And the last one, a new start is coming. Well, no wonder we needed this healing session. That's a new moon. We're in a new moon situation as we speak, so that makes complete sense. Know that a new start is coming. You already have begun your new start, but because for most of us, it did not start with this dramatic volcanic eruption of change, we don't even really see it. It's going very, very subtle. It's happening in very small movements, basically. It's not like we're taking a 180 full turn all at once and we're going in a different direction. And that's also one of the reasons many of us are feeling imbalanced, unstable, concerned, and not themselves. Because we are being asked, forced, pushed to take a different direction. And the turn is happening in small movements, but it is happening and the new start is coming. So I hope this was helpful to you. Please visit the website if you want to download a guided meditation that I've recorded. It's called Turning Fears to Feathers Meditation. And I based it on the Course in Miracles, but it's basically about helping you let go of your fears. So please download that if you feel you need help with sitting down and meditating. Again, I repeat myself, try every day to spend some time away from screens and from equipment that has like an electrical wire anywhere. Just try to stay clear from it and focus on finding your inner balance, walking your personal path, your chakra path, going from 1 to 7 or the other way around. And remember that the heart is the love And the love is basically knocking on your crown chakra door and saying, please let me in because I'm here, I'm here. And it will help you bring together the connection. And you won't feel alone as much as you might feel right now if you take the time to do this. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. I hope you have a great week and a great month. Bye.